What is up, y'all? It's your girl Brand New, and I'm back in the building. And this time I'm back with a review of the Braxton family values only because they are going to be on. No, they're not on Iyanla Fix My Life, but Iyanla pretty much came to them. So we're going to get off into that first. I have a few comments that I want to make. This isn't going to be like a blow by blow review where I go through every little thing. I'm going to get to the main points. First, I want to say this, not Tracy, Trina. Trina, you got short hair now. If you going to have the short hair, you going to need to have it. You going to need to curl it, do something with it. You don't have the face where you could just wear it. The best Braxtons that look good with the short hair is Tamar. Tamar rocking that fucking bald head. I don't care what nobody say. Can't stand the heifer, but she wearing that bald head and a nice lip, and I like that on Tamar. But Tamar, I'm kind of ready for you to put some hair too. I don't want to see the bald. Like if you would just switch it up, that would be cool. Tony can rock the hell. If that was Tony wearing that short hair that Trina is wearing, Tony would be killing that. She could be just basic. That short hair on Tony looks good. I like her better, I think, with long, but Tony can rock the short hair. Trina, you need at least to have a bob. Your face, you need to have at least a bob if you don't want real long hair, or you need to have long hair. You look better with your weaves. I'm sorry, honey. Okay, so first off, what I noticed is when Iyanla came in, she first greeted the mother. And she tried to kiss her, and Miss Evelyn, moved because of her makeup. Really, bitch? Miss Evelyn, you ain't all that like that. You look nice for your age. I won't say that you don't, but I felt like that was rude. So Iyanla made it a joke, and I was just like, okay, let's see how this shit is gonna go. Because that right there, y'all may say, oh, well, she was just playing. No, it'd be little shit like that leads up to how a motherfucker is go act. She, of course, greets Tawanda because Tawanda, y'all remember from back in the day, was on her show Starting Over. And even then, I was a child and I liked that show. I remember watching it and was like, oh my God. So I've always been connected to Iyanla. Okay, so they all sitting down and they get to talking about how Tony is the spokesperson of the sisters, and everybody pretty much agrees with that because when Iyanla asked why they were there, Tony was the first one to speak up, pretty much stating her and her father that they have to once again get their sisterhood back on track because they all are going in different directions. What I would like to say to that is, maybe that's how it's supposed to be and you guys are fighting it. Let's face it. Yes, you guys can come together, but you guys will only come together unless you genuinely, from the bottom of your heart, want to come together. You guys keep getting scattered because everybody has different things that they are doing. Maybe the other person don't have much in common with the other. It's just this is how it's supposed to be. And it's y'all are fighting against it. I think this show is done. It's a wrap. I don't think they want to let it go. I'm not all convinced because they strike, they were done with the show. I'm not convinced of that. I think they still want to do the show and they keep trying to drag on all this bullshit. And don't get me wrong, it's entertaining, but I just feel like the show is done. It's really a wrap. I will always follow the show if it's on because I love Toni Braxton. That is my girl. I played Toni all throughout my pregnancy, honey. So Toni helped me deliver that baby, honey. So, and I just love I love Toni Braxton, period. I can do without all of them. But I love Toni. Who else I like out of them? I was starting to like Tracy, but Tracy did some shit on this episode that made me look at her different and not want to really fuck with her. I want to get through all the sisters really quick on my opinions of them before I get to my main points. First off, we got Tony. I love Tony. Tony is a superstar of the group. I think all the sisters admire her because she's pretty much neutral. You know, she's not the bitch that Tamar can be, all bratty and spoiled. She's like neutral, centered. You know, she's the one that has her shit together. Even if shit is falling apart, Tony don't look like it's falling apart. Like, she has an aura about her, and that's why I fuck with her more than any of them. But on Tony's negative side is what I'm noticing. Tony is willing to lie to her sisters. She's willing to not speak on things when maybe she should and just flat out tell the truth. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more as the episode unfolds, but it's some shit with Tony. Now, everybody keeps saying Tony is jealous of Tamar, which I don't think is true. I remember I listened to this psychic, and on his channel, he was pretty much stating that Tony doesn't respect Tamar's success because of how she got it. It's not her brand of success, which is true. They both are successful in their own right. Tamar is more of the TV personality, where Tony is known to be this big music star. So, I mean, it's all about the times, and Tamar fits in more with the times, and it's all good. But I don't think at all that Tony is jealous of her. I think that, and she's going to mention in this episode, you know, she's disappointed in Tamar for how her big personality and over the top and just being extra. Tamar pissed me the fuck off on this episode. I will get more into that as we continue. But I noticed that with Tony. Let's get to who the fuck else is it? Trina. Trina, out of all the sisters, I get from her that she's a lot better than she used to be. Y'all remember she was getting the DUIs and dealing with that annoying ass Gabe. So she's got rid of him. She's kind of cleaned house, got her degree, got her business going. I respect Trina. Trina has come up out of some shit. But she does too much of... She made a comment, and I believe it's coming up, you guys, but I believe she's going to say something like, well, I would never talk badly about my mother and this, that, and the third. I would never. Bitch, you have to tell the truth. This is all of their problem. They don't like to tell the truth. Even Tracy got in here backpedaling, talking about how she don't have no problem with nobody and she's just numb. And then Iyanla could read her body language and tell the shit was off. And, you know, it's just like, Tracy, that was your time to say, you know what? And you should have admitted the fact that it did hurt you when they didn't include you in that group because you got pregnant. You always be hurt and mad over that. And you kept denying it and saying that you wasn't. That made me doubt you, Tracy. Because at first I was fucking with you like you the underdog. Because they do treat Tracy different. She's a co-producer and not executive like the rest of them. Come on. They definitely treat her differently. But, and I stand by that. I still like Tracy, but that backpedaling right there, you got to stand in your truth, and none of them do. Then Trina had mentioned some shit about how she was already on Iyanla and she didn't know about if she wanted to come back. Bitch, you needed to be on there the first time. Because you was sitting up there breaking up with the man. You done broke up with him, but yet he's still in your house. He don't have no relationship with your kids. You know, it was just all types of weird. So you needed to be on there. And for her to say what she said it in a... well, it's just so much, you know, when you come on Iyanla, bitch, you there again because you know that you need it. See, there's a part of them that does not tell the truth. That's why none of them can maintain successful long-term relationships. I'm serious. Now, you may say, well, Tamar and Vince went for a while. Tamar and Vince went for as long as they did because Vince had money and Tamar, all them years, was trying to get on. She already had little record deals, but her shit never really popped off until Vince made that shit happen. So that is what happened with that. Now she's at a point she don't need him. Now their shit is just dissolved. That's another Quad and Dr. G. That is so many motherfuckers. Portia and Cordell. That's how that shit is. The Portia and Cordell thing, though, is a little bit different because I feel like Portia really did care for him and he really did betray her. But yeah, she wasn't with him for the right reasons though. And I think her intuition was telling her she didn't need to be with him, but she didn't listen. So that's kind of different, but it falls into that same thing of dating a man with money. And because I remember when Portia, look at me skipping shows, but when Portia was on Housewives, she was used to Cordell buying this and buying, and that lets you know her mentality. She was waiting for the money. And a lot of these women do that. Even my girl Eb, I believe Evelyn does this. You know, they get with these men, and then when they don't need them no more, now all of a sudden the relationship they're broke up, and oh, he cheated, and girl, bye. You know, so look, that's a whole nother video. I really used to, let's get on Tawanda. I really used to like Tawanda, but when her divorce came out, she was acting weird, didn't really want to speak on it. She had been with this man all this time. I guess he wanted to be an author. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. But shit, you also need a damn job if that's not paying the bills. Because let's face it, you guys, in the entertainment industry, in the book industry, you may not be the best author out there. Your shit may not be selling, so you still got to work and you still got to do other things. And that man was not willing to do that. For Tawanda to put up with that for so long, that said a lot about her. I think the two most confident sisters are Toni and Tamar. That's why they are where they are at. Tamar is, you know, I feel played into that, yeah, I need my man to put me on. And Toni didn't need that, you know, because they always wanted Toni. But yeah, Tamar played into that. But Tamar's has a hustle in her where she gonna always get paid, and people like her crazy ass fucking personality. She's the popular one, you know. But yeah, Tawanda, she just does her play. Her personality is just totally, it's not a superstar at all, and that's fine. But just know your lane, you know. And I didn't like how she, when they did the strike, I didn't like how she was sitting with Tamar, because to me, I always kind of felt like Tawanda was jealous of Tamar. It was something between the two of them. So I'm just looking like, I didn't understand how all of a sudden they were so cool, but that's how people are, even in families. You know, they get all chummy with somebody because they both fell out with the same person, which is Tracy. So I'm just sitting up here like, Tawanda, why are you sitting with Tamar, who was making fun of Phaedra and calling her Phaedra Braxton? Remember when Phaedra was coming on the show? Why are you even like with that? And you complain about Tamar, but yet you're willing to sit with her and Trina as well. Because y'all know that Tawanda and Trina, they don't really like, I don't think they really like Tamar like that. I think they tolerate her. I think all of them tolerate Tamar. They don't like that shit, though. That shit is annoying, the shit that she does. And the way she carried on in this motherfucking episode made me want to grab her. That motherfucking mother, go check her next week. And I am so motherfucking here for it. What I will say about Tawanda is I do like how calm she is, and she could be mature and a leader in the family. Like, she was Tony's personal assistant. So, you know, it's little shit about her that I like. But if we go rank who I like on here, see, I love Toni Braxton. I do like Trina. There's an aspect I liked of Trina. So yeah, I think Toni and Trina, I think that they are pretty, interesting. I like Trina's little bar chicks. I love all of that and how she got that together. I like that she's on Sister Circle. Like, I like her hustle. And I like her attitude. It's more mature than fucking Tamar's, you know. And then I will say I like Tracy. Yeah, I like Tracy and Trina about the same. Tracy has a fun personality, so I could fuck with Tracy. Toni, Tracy, and Trina, they're my girls. Tamar, too bratty, spoiled, obnoxious. She could be funny, though. I can laugh at Tamar and enjoy her. She has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. But I couldn't fuck with Tamar all like that, honestly. Who else we got left? Tracy. Tracy, you disappointed me. You disappointed me because Tracy, I saw in you lack of confidence. I saw it in this episode. I saw a woman of lack of confidence. You was more confident actually when you were away from your sisters. And then all of a sudden on this episode, Iyanla is asking you why you there. You talking about you don't know why and you numb and you don't care no more. But you could see the hurt, the disappointment written all over your face. And I think that Tracy did that because she just doesn't trust her sisters. You know how you don't trust people and you don't want to be too vulnerable around them? That's what I see in Tracy. I don't think it's that she doesn't care. But Tracy, you're going to have to just keep it real with these motherfuckers. And I don't like how you acted a certain type of way. It was just unnecessary. Just say your real feelings. Iyanla was there. Let that shit down. Let these bitches know how they always leave you out. Even Iyanla brings up the fact that they leave Tracy out. You know, it's just fucked up. Tamar, I think we do Tamar. Tamar is bratty, spoiled, obnoxious, extra as fuck. Tamar lives in a fantasy land. It's like she's a Disney character. She expects to... Iyanla is going to say something to her, and I'm going to repeat it as soon as I hear it again. But she checked the fuck out of Tamar, and Tamar really needed to hear that shit. Because Tamar was... just rolling her eyes and doing all this extra shit. You are sitting with Iyanla, bitch. Don't you think it's time to turn the extras off? Like, you know how you have a stereo and you want to turn it the fuck down? That's what I wanted to do with Tamar. Stop with all, like Tony said, stop with all them fucking expressions. You know, stop with all of that. One thing I didn't like is Tony pointed that out, and then Iyanla was just like, well, that's just who she is. I don't feel like that's who Tamar is. I think a lot of the shit that she does is for show. I thought she would be more calm and humble and serious. She did have moments of that, but it was never all the way through. She resorted back to a little 12-year-old. And one thing that the family does that really pisses me off, they'll say, well, she's the youngest. See, that makes an excuse. There's no motherfucking excuse for a over 40-year-old woman to act like a fucking 12-year-old. Better yet, 8 or 9-year-old, all that rolling the eyes and crossing the legs and making faces and shit. You too old for that, Tamar. All the shit you done been through with Vincent, bitch. All the shit you set up on here and told all your sisters they men wasn't shit and they don't do nothing for them. Now you in a similar fucking situation about to get a divorce. Where's your humility? Where's your understanding, your compassion? It was not there. You have not really grown all like that. I think you got on Wendy Williams and spoke prematurely about that new man you seeing. You know, oh, I would love some African babies. Meanwhile, Vince in a fucking hospital and shit. And I'm not saying you need to cater to Vince, but they said you wouldn't go see the man. That shit is crazy, y'all. The good part of Tamar is talented. She can sing. She's a hustler. Tamar will always get money. She will always end up around some money because Tamar got that, nope, ain't gonna do it. So that part of Tamar, I like. I could do without her, all the extras and the facial expressions when she do it, but that's the part of Tamar I like. She's willing to go after what she wants and will not accept less. Tamar's main problem is Tamar thinks they went on a strike because of Tamar. Tamar feels she is above the show. She feels like she's above her sisters and above the show. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I truly believe that. Yes, they probably could have got more money. I'm not denying that. Because I feel like if the Kardashians can make all this fucking money, then so can the fucking Braxtons. They equally as talented and beautiful, shit. But, well, shit. The Kardashians ain't really talented except for... look, that's another conversation. But yeah, all the facial expressions Tamar make is because she has an ego. She has an ego. And until that ego is humbled and balanced, she will keep having problems with her sisters. In her relationships with men and women, She's going to have problems. Tamar gets into this thing of there has been a lot of made up stories about her, and once again, me, everybody's against me. I thought really y'all was all against Tracy, but maybe I'm watching a different show. You know, Tamar always points everything back to her. So when you're dealing with selfish personalities, there is never going to be any resolve. I don't get why people is blaming Iyanla for not being able to help them. There ain't going to be no resolve with this family because they have a problem with keeping it the fuck real. Their parents taught them to pretend, and to what goes on in this house stays in this house. You don't speak on it. That mother was so obnoxious and so behind it. You could see her ego and she wasn't humble. She kept on saying to Iyanla, oh, well, why do I need to agree to be here? Because Iyanla said, you know, we're all going to go there and we all need to make a commitment that you all are not going to leave the room. Mama, I need you first to commit to be here for your girls. What did I tell you guys? You as a person need a safe place to land with your mother. And if you don't have that, you're going to be fucked up. Yes, these women had their mother and their father, but it was a pure case of they were there, but they wasn't there. Like emotionally, they was just there. Evelyn is a director. That's why she directed them to sing and all of that. But she's more of a director than a nurturer and a mother that's willing to be emotional and humble. One thing I will say about Kris Jenner, and y'all may say, oh, she's full of shit. She pimped out her girl. Yes, you know, look, the list goes on. But that bitch, if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she cries with her daughters. They see her with emotion. As black women, we don't get that. We get some old uppity bitch in her 50s and 60s always talking about what she ain't gonna do. Oh, I'm not doing that. Did y'all see how Miss Evelyn kept giving her a hard time, unwilling to talk about everything? This doesn't concern me. These women are over 40 years and over. This has nothing to do with me. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Even Iyanla said that there's a reason why these women act the way they do. And mama, you was the example. You was the example. So uppity, so egotistical, didn't want to listen, nose all up in the air, snob, that is what Miss Evelyn, what I realized, represents so many black women's mothers. And if you're in your 30s like me, you may have a mother like that. Don't want to fucking listen. You try to have a heart-to-heart with the bitch. That didn't happen. No, we ain't talk about that. I am your mother. You don't tell me what to do. Why is you coming at me with this? I did the best I could to take care of you. You know, like, you're not going to get... I was scared, you know, like I was in fear. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any, like, you don't get no heartfelt shit. You get a rock, you know, somebody that can't be moved. If I feel like I want to deal with it, I'll deal with it. I saw Tamar. Well, that's how I feel. She kept saying, she don't give a fuck about them girls all like that. Not there. She cares about it on the side of they can sing. They're going to make money and take care of her. I do think she loves her girls, but probably not in the healthiest way. There's just something really off about her. Yes, she's cute and she's funny, but I wouldn't want her as a mother. I want a heartfelt bitch, you know, somebody that's like, you know what, my kids are in trouble and I'm here, I'm in it, you know. The father, in my opinion, I like their father, even though he did some shit that got me skeptical about him. You know, I still like his attitude, his demeanor. He seems friendly. He seems happy. Miss Evelyn, it seemed like she's an evil, bitter woman. There's a part of her life she never got over. And so instead of acting her age, she reverts back to that bitter part of her life. That is the true indication is she is bitter. And she got on red, which Iyanla said is war colors. And yes, it is, honey. So Iyanla asked the girls, How does it feel to hear that your mother is not willing to commit to stay to the end? How does it feel? Tracy goes on this speech of, oh, I feel disappointed that we've hurt our parents. That is not what Iyanla asked you. She said, how does it feel for you? And then you go on and on about your parents, how it hurts them and how they raised you to be better. And, the mother is shaking her head. And you could tell that Tracy felt like she was making a point. Like, how a motherfucker feel like they hit a home run, and Iyanla checked her. You are totally off. You going into how your parents feel. I asked you about you and your feelings. Therefore, Iyanla was able to realize they was not raised to have their own opinion. Remember, if you read Toni Braxton's book, her mother was doing all that church music. Put her in the minds of a Whitney Houston mother a little bit. Just pumping the church stuff and just not recognizing that people have other desires and other sides to them. And, she really strikes me of that type of mother, just pumping that Christian. You got to go to church 4 and 5 times out of the week. You're a devil if you listen to R&B music. Remember, she was also the one that made Toni Braxton feel guilty that she got put on and her sisters didn't get put on. She kept telling Toni, well, don't forget about your sisters. Whatever you do, if you get a deal or something, don't forget about your sisters. You got to help them out. Remember, she had to do this show to get their ass on. And I'm glad Toni did it, but a parent should never make a child feel guilty like that. It's evil behavior. I'm sorry. Iyanla tells Tracy, you need to get responsible for your own feelings. And they were not taught to do that. And it's not just them, you guys. A lot of parents, we are raised by a lot of dysfunctional people. Your parent may have made a lot of money, but they probably wasn't the best parent. There are a lot of people that are really good providers, but they're not there emotionally for their child. They don't do that part. They're lazy with that. They'll go make the money because it looks good. It buys clothes. It makes you look like you have the perfect life, but they won't go there emotionally, which is what you need in a parent-child relationship. You need to be able to be vulnerable and be your true self and not be judged. I'm not saying it gives you the right to disrespect your parent, but your parent shouldn't be disrespecting you and making you feel bad for your feelings. Okay, before I continue, you guys, I want to point out something. Didn't Toni has been the sickest and been through the most, it seems like. I know Tamar has been through her things as well, but Toni has really been in that hospital for the lupus. But I'm looking at Toni, she looks younger than all of them. She's the oldest and just so beautiful and radiant. Okay, Toni girl. Toni is goals, y'all. Okay, so they get to this part where Tawanda shares that there was always communication issues in the family because when they asked their parents, were they getting a divorce? The mother said, ask your father. The father said, ask your mother. Then Toni lied to them and said, well, they're not getting a divorce. Everything's going to work out and be fine. And they pretty much said, we never got that answer. So it just went on and on with all these questions. And that's what's going on now. This family definitely has communication issues. They were not allowed to really speak their piece and really say what they wanted because of that bitchy mother. And the father was off lying and cheating, messing with other women. It was just a bad combination. I think they thought that it was the right thing because it was Christian and they was in the church, which a lot of people get all messed up with. Just because you are in the church does not mean that you are perfect and are without issues. I think a lot of people in the church, they like things to look a certain way instead of it just being a certain way. Isn't it ironic that Miss Tamar mentions that whenever you don't tell the truth, you get shut down? When people tell you the truth, bitch, you walk off. So why don't you talk about that? So, okay, I give it to all the girls. It's not safe to tell the truth in the household. Iyanla wants to know, where did you get this from? gotta come from one of the parents. Here go Evelyn. Well, they didn't get it from me. See, she's always denying, even the father laughed. She never takes responsibility. That's probably why he didn't want to be with her ass no more. She doesn't know how to communicate. She wants to feel like she's always right. And unfortunately, a lot of black women, they have that personality. This bitch says that she, Evelyn, is a communicator. No, you're not, because you wasn't even willing to commit to this whole process. You was just, no, why do they need me to do it? And no, they had to go around and go around. Most of the episode was about Iyanla trying to convince your ass of the process, and you didn't want to do it. Tony even admits that the way that they communicate with each other, it was taught by their mother and their father. And I like that she didn't do what I see Trina and Tracy do. Well, our parents are just so good and they didn't do that. And she said both the parents are the reason they having communication issues now. So Evelyn finally agrees to allow the girls to tell the truth about how they experience her. And, their communication issues with her and how they communicate, period, with each other. She claims she's down for it. She's willing to listen. And, yeah, we'll see. Tawanda and Trina recognize that they both don't always say what they really mean because they don't want to hurt their parents. Like I said before, it's a lot of that. In this family, I don't have that problem. I will speak the truth because if you don't live in truth, your life will literally be crashing down. You could go down the wrong path when you don't live in your truth. Okay, so they get into the Braxton family values and what were they taught, from their parents. And basically, I'll go through a few of them. They said they was taught, to hold each other down, have each other's backs, even over, any friends they may have. Love each other, even if you don't like each other. And forgiveness. But Iyanla was just like, oh, well, with the forgiveness, that one really stuck out to her. She's just like, well, do you forgive or do you say you forgive? And then as soon as they do something you don't like, you're throwing it back in their face. You're right back where you started with them, that type of thing. And I feel like I like that she pointed that out because I feel like a lot of motherfuckers do that. A lot of people, they don't forgive people all like that. Iyanla realizes there were no values around communication. They all was like, huh? What? We wasn't taught that. And that's, they talk at each other. They talk behind each other's backs. That's where a lot of that come from. The mother is steady rolling her eyes. And it's like, Mama Evelyn, you need to grow up. And that is why Tamar acts the way that she does. Like the little demon seed she is. Tony says that she feels like herself included and all her sisters have not committed themselves to the Braxton family values. They all are guilty of, not making their, not keeping their commitments and really doing what they need to do. They break those values all the time. So Iyanla hugs the mother. The mother is more receptive this time. She's closing out. They all agree to meet back up for breakfast to continue on with the conversation, but shit go left. Okay, so we see the next day, we see Trina and Tawanda, I think they was there, and Tracy and the dad, they was all there waiting, but due to scheduling conflicts, the call time for Tamar and Tony was delayed and breakfast was canceled. They didn't got there late. The mother was there, and then next thing I know, Iyanla had break for lunch. After she came back for lunch, I see it's like 4:20 p.m. They were supposed to got started that motherfucking morning. And see, that's the problem right there. These bitches they don't keep their motherfucking commitments. As soon as Tamar get in there, she talking about, is them scallops? What is that? Bitch, you're late. Have some fucking respect. I cannot stand a late ass person. That shit, unless you better have a good excuse. You better be at work. You better really be doing something. I think that's messed up to play with somebody's time. Iyanla came in there like a motherfucking drill sergeant on they ass, honey. And I was motherfucking here for it. Because it's just like she went the fuck off on them. We were supposed to get started during this time. You wasn't here. You wasn't here. What the fuck is going on? y'all sitting up here saying that y'all want change in y'all family, but yet you guys can't get here all at the same time, be on time, be where you need to be. Iyanla lets them know she needs order, she needs clarity, she needs honor. So Tamar was like, it's not my fault, and she's getting up to leave and shit, and then her and Iyanla end up getting into it. The mother is like, you better sit your ass down, and Tamar ends up sitting her ass down. Iyanla gets her ass together. This is what stood out to me. Iyanla told Tamar's ass, your behavior diminishes your message. And that right there, bitch, is on the motherfucking money. Tamar, you don't have any integrity, because your behavior is the reason why people don't take you seriously. You too wishy-washy, you flip-flop, you want to talk all that shit, and you're always blaming other people for things that happen with you. You turn into a little girl, and that's why you are not respected as being a grown woman. Okay? She let their ass have it and left out, told them, y'all call me when y'all got y'all shit together and when y'all can figure out what the fuck is going on here. And they all there trying to get the shit together. What I did like is Mama Evelyn finally coming around and checking Tamar, and, she was nodding her head, letting Tamar and the rest of the girls know, hey, y'all listen to what she's saying. So I did respect that. But Mama Evelyn, you still need to get your shit together. That is my discussion. This was more of a discussion, you guys, than really a review. I didn't get into every little thing, but I really wanted to do commentary on this and what I noticed from all the women in this family. All right, that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is your girl, Brand New, and I am out.